Y'all not gonna believe this. You might wanna sit down for this because it had me laughing, and I want to share it with everybody. Hey, friends, I'm glad you're popping up. We're gonna have a little bit of a short session here. I have a few thoughts I wanna talk about, and then I'll open it up for Q&As. If you've got any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. So there's this nifty little tool called Google Console. That's kinda new to me, but hell, everything I do on Substack is new to me. Anyway, I studied it, learned what I was supposed to do with it, and got, my moneyrosesoul.com website, which is on Substack, connected to Google Console. And, creatives like me, we like our new shiny objects, so I was spending some time on it, and it tells you what people are Googling when they're looking for you. And this one just blew me away. People were asking how old I am. Like, really? Was that important? But yeah, they were typing in, "How old is Monica Abear?" And Google gave them the answer. It was it was kind of a funny thing for me, like, it never occurred to me that people would care enough about what my age is, so just so everybody knows, I'm 70. I'll be 71 in September, and I was born on 9/11, so I tend to hide on that day. But anyway, I just wanted to share that funny little story with you guys. And there's another little story I want to share with y'all because y'all may not understand something about me and memory. It ain't so good, and it's not because I'm 70. I was married to this preacher man for 17 years, and when I finally got the nerve up to ask for the divorce and all the paperwork came through, I'll be damned if the day the divorce was finalized, he got the paperwork and wrapped it up in a shirt box from the dealer's department store, put a gold bow on it, and had it delivered to the restaurant where I was eating lunch with my girlfriends. I opened it up. I said, "Okay, that's that. I'm done." And the next thing I said was, "I will never remember another name again in my life." Now, why would I say something like that? Because as a preacher's wife, every time we moved to a new church, which happened, I think, 5 times in 17 years, I had to grab the church directory and memorize the names of the key leaders, their families, their kids, their grandkids. I had to know it all because yours truly had to go to the back of the church at the end of every service and shake hands and be ready to greet people by their name. So I did this command. I didn't realize it was a command. I just said, "I'm never doing that again." Well, let me tell you something. That has plagued me like you can't imagine because when I worked for 20 years in New York City in the music industry, producing classical music, I couldn't remember anything. You couldn't ask me. It was just a laughing joke. Now, you couldn't ask Monica the name of the song or the piece that was being played or recorded because she wasn't going to remember it. I don't remember lyrics. I don't remember names of books. I just don't remember names. Maybe one of these days I'll do something about that and maybe I won't. But boy, is that not an example of the ability to cut through all the noise between you and the creative universe and say, "This is what I want." And I did it with such certainty and such passion that it really cut through all the doubt, the fear, because I had none. I just declared it, and that was it, and it was over. And I just want to share that with you guys. That's why sometimes if y'all write me an email, I don't quite recognize or remember, that's why, and it helps if y'all tell me the story of why we know each other or what I said to you on Substack. That's all I really am coming to. So the other thing I wanted to find out from everybody today, I wanted to bring up, I think Glow was on here. Yeah, I put her in the newsletter yesterday. Lovely, lovely lady building a Substack centered around yoga, and you might want to go check her out. And it's in the newsletter that was published yesterday. It should have been in everybody's email. Now, speaking of email, mercy, Lord, have mercy. I think we need to help folks remember that Substack is not Facebook. I had a personal experience with someone today who did not realize the notes were just the tip of the iceberg of what happens on Substack. They just assumed it behaved like the news feed on Facebook. And she had been following me for months. And somebody else mentioned to her an article that they had read of mine. And she said, "Where are you finding the articles?" And that made me kind of stop and ponder a little bit. And I reached out to this woman. And she had no clue that she could subscribe, be it free or paid. She just didn't know. So, okay, now she's subscribed. She goes, "I've been missing all this stuff." Well, yeah, but it's all there. The archives are all there. You can go find it and catch up. It's not going anywhere. But the behavior on Substack does not mirror Facebook whatsoever. In fact, we're all pretty fond of saying how much it doesn't behave like the other platforms that we were forced to go into for a long time. Isn't it nice to have a choice, though? And I'm so grateful to see so many of my friends here. Thank you for coming. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention tonight, I'm checking out my notes, and this is very impromptu. I got to tell you another funny story. About 1 o'clock, I was scrubbing down my bathroom sink and the mirrors and doing my Monday chores. And I looked up, I said, hair looks okay. You ought to do a live tonight. Believe it or not, how my hair looks is a major determining factor of whether I go live. And then as the afternoon progressed, I started talking myself out of it, which brings me to the whole reason I'm having this conversation tonight. When your intuition, the relationship with your soul, with your intuition is solid, there is no debate about whether you're going to take action, make a decision, or whatever it is that's on your mind. You just know it. You just know it. Well, it was solid with me when I said, I think I'll do a live tonight. And then as the hours passed, I could hear myself talking myself out of it. And I almost didn't do it. And I thought, oh my God, what a prime example. In fact, my plan tonight was to eat my pizza, watch a movie, fold my clothes, take a bath, and go to bed. I still will do all of those things. Nobody cares what time I go to bed. That's the glory of being retired. But here's what I want you to know. I'm going to try to share a screen here because I want to show you guys something. I want you guys to have benefit of what I have figured out and learned. Hello, Lovey. Whoever sends those hearts, thank you. Makes my heart pitter patter. Bear with me. I'm going to try to share the screen because I want you to see how to build the PDF that people request from me on how to build believable trust with yourself. Let's see if this works. Boom. And there it is. There we go. Okay. All right. Now I'm a little bitty, so you can barely see me, but this is a little PDF that I put together. I probably about a year ago, because I had people in Breakthrough, by Tuesday night group, saying, "But I don't trust myself. I don't know how to trust myself." Now, for a lot of y'all, that might sound a little odd. Like, how can a grown woman not trust their intuition or their inner voice? It's mainly because people in my demographic, and I remember I'm 70, and a lot of people just, between 60 and 70, we were raised in such a way to trust everything and everybody else but ourselves. So we have a lot of doubt about how to make a decision that we want to choose to do that we think might add some particular goodness to the life we want to have as retired persons. So here's what we do. I created this little book called Building Trust with Yourself. And the very first step in this little book is going to be the way you're going to learn how to trust the relationship with your own inner being. And it's basically you're going to gather evidence. Let's see if I can get the screen to move so I can scroll it a little bit. In this particular module of this little booklet, you want to prove to yourself that you have been supported in decisions that you have made. You might want to practice it right now. You might want to try it. Grab a piece of paper. You have nothing to lose. But this is something you want to do day in and day out, but don't repeat what you wrote the day before. This starts training you on how to think about how you think about your own life, if that makes any sense to anybody. Because then you start noticing the things that are working out. And the more you notice things that are working out, or you said yes to something when you should, somebody else told you you should say no, but you said yes and move forward, jot that down. This is not journaling. This is not keeping a joy ledger. This is gathering evidence so that you can feel good about the relationship you have with your own intuition. You want to be able to develop a relationship that you don't second guess your decisions at all. And occasionally you do, like I did with myself today, but apparently I was supposed to do this live because, hello, I'm here, I'm doing it, right? So there's that. If a solution has come to your life and you didn't have to force it, it just flowed into your life, write that down. If you followed a gut feeling, just a gut feeling about something, write that down. Those are pieces of evidence. And then as you do this, you're going to begin to remember a whole lot more than you're giving yourself credit for in your current state of life, wherever you are at this stage of life. And now remember, I'm primarily speaking to women who have retired, be they married or not, is immaterial. But for a lot of us, we have a hard time trusting ourselves to make the next decisions that we want to make for our lives. This is just a little window into it. There are 4 more steps after this one. And I send this out via email to requests when I get them from my paid members, and I'd be glad to send them to anybody who asks for them. But it's really that simple. Start now. Gather your evidence. You Do you have a lot of evidence of things to not believe? Why don't you want to make a list of things you want to believe? You see the difference of what I'm saying? You have developed habits of things you don't think are going to be true. Why don't you choose to develop a habit that's true for you? List the evidence of things that you know have happened. It could have happened 20 years ago, 40 years ago. The timeline doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is you start collecting evidence about the small, big, medium successes in your own life. That's the only thing that matters. That you listen to your soul and you find out, oh, that's right. I made a decision to change dentists, and I'm so glad I did because that other one, there's been bad news in the newspaper. See, that's evidence that you listened to yourself, not an outside source. My point really is if you read today's article that went through the email to everybody, I started outsourcing my power and my decisions to a lot of people, trying to get information to help me get back in rhythm with my own body because I was sleeping like not at all. And I was not a nice person to be around for about the last 10 days. And finally, I kind of did what I call pulling up the bulwark. I shut everybody out and said, okay, I'm done. And I did a little experiment. And by process of elimination, wound up on a night where I had nothing in front of me that would help me get better sleep. So at one point, somebody said, take dill pickles, eat them as much as you want because it has apple cider vinegar in them. You got to know I don't like dill pickles, but I did it. And that helps elevate your blood sugar so you don't get up and potty as much in the middle of the night. Because, girlfriend, I was getting up like 5 times a night, okay? I was getting 2-hour naps, get up, go to the bathroom, 2-hour naps. Then somebody else said, oh, here, put apple cider vinegar in 8 ounces of water and just drink that. I tried that. That didn't work. I tried this special chocolate powder drink made by the company that does the Rise coffee. Oh, that was the worst night. I got up 6 times that night. And that was horrible. My point in telling you this is that I even went against my own intuition. You know, I knew it all along, but my ego was in there like, we're going to, do it our way. We're going to do it our way. And that's truly what it was. My ego was battling my relationship with my intuition. And what it really came down to is every time I woke up at about 2 o'clock in the morning, go to the bathroom, right? And I take my phone with me. I live alone. If anything happens, I want my phone with me. Well, because I have so many subscribers on the other side of the world, I turn on my phone and I check on the notifications and I interact with them. And all of a sudden, my brain clicks in because I'm now back in work mode. I'm working. So I stay in that state for about an hour before I can go back to sleep. And when I realized that's what I was doing, my intuition was kind of like right here in my ear saying, I told you to put the phone away. Just put the phone away. Well, lo and behold, you know, I said, I call my intuition or my soul Rosie, Rosie. So, okay, Rosie, I got the message. I was one stubborn old broad, but I got the message. I'm now sleeping fine and my energy's back and everything's okay. But that's kind of the point of learning to develop trust in yourself. And my stories will prove to you what I live today. And the story was not getting enough sleep. That I'm not telling you it's a panacea for everything. I'm telling you that you develop a relationship that's kind of like having your best friend with you in all of your thoughts and what you're going to do. You're not out here wielding, it's not you against the world, it's you and your best friend, whatever you want to call your intuition or your soul. And that's what I have for you tonight. And before I go, if you have any, we can do a little bit of Q&A. If anybody has any questions, be my guest. If not, we'll say adios, gotta go. Uh, and remember, they're Googling how old is Monica. I have no idea why anybody gives a damn about how old I am, but they are, and I think it's funny. Anyhow, no questions? Everybody doing okay? Anybody else want their copy of How to Build Trust in Yourself? Let me know. Shoot me a DM and we'll shoot one off to you. If not, I'm going to say adios. Oh, hey, Catherine. How are you? First time here? I'm glad you're here. I don't plan these, Catherine. They just kind of pop up when the spirit moves me, so to speak. It's just, I have something to say and I'm going to say it. I don't send out emails. You'll have to send me one. Send me a DM and I'll give you my personal email and you can send it to me. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to tell you how much I love you all. Thank you for taking time with me tonight. And I wish I had some cute little way of closing this to say, you know what, age doesn't really matter. But the truth is it really doesn't, but people are interested in that. And, Catherine, I'm really glad to hear it helped, honey. Maybe you're the reason why Spirit moved me to do this, because I really was not doing this tonight. And 10 minutes ago, I just said, "Oh, nope, I gotta do a live tonight." So here we are. And I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad it helped you. Remember, step 1, go collect the evidence. Sit down with yourself and remember good things that have happened in your life and how you made that decision. And start listing. I don't care if it's 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 5 years ago. It matters not. What matters is the feeling that you get when you remember something good happening as a result of a choice or a decision that you made for yourself, irrespective of anybody else in your life. It will feel so good to you to remember that, especially in these days and times. I mean, do y'all notice how much we are hit with constant ads telling us what we're doing wrong? I mean, I got into it the other day, baby, on Facebook with a company called Seniorly or something that listed 3 things that are wrong if you're 70 and this is what you're doing and experiencing. This is what we'll do for you. And Medicare will pay for your therapy. I got on there and I said, honey, that's just situations people are living with. That's not that none of that means anybody has a mental defect. Well, they blocked me. Anyway, if you know of anybody else who would like to have a sassy old broad show up in their emails pretty frequently, almost every day, every week, with thoughts about how to live in these strange and crazy times that we're in, and thoughts about how to reclaim your own dreams and reclaiming your dreams, reinventing life. You cannot do any of it unless you have established a really strong relationship with your own intuition, because frankly, everything you're gonna wanna do is between you and your intuition. There's no committee to have a discussion with. There's no girlfriend to call and say, "What do you think? I might do this." This has to happen just between you and your intuition. It'll never, ever fail you. You might fail your intuition, but your intuition will never fail you, and you can take that to the bank. Oh my goodness, 20 minutes. I gotta roll. I got a hot tub waiting for me. I love you guys. Remember, we don't retire, we rewire how we think about retirement at this time in our life. Later, Gator.